title that says More Transformations. And then at the top, there's a little chart. You will need to memorize this chart. So you might want to put a star by it or say study. So you'll know on a test, you will not be given the chart. So if I ask you to do a particular transformation, for instance, if I say reflect this line over the x-axis, which is this one right here, you would need to know that I'm asking you to change the sign of the slope. So you will need to know the rules for these transformations. Right, these are the transformations that you'll need to know. Basically, the translation is just simply moving the line up or down, and that means that's going to affect the y-intercept only. A reflection across your y-axis means that you're changing the sign of the slope. Now, when it says change the sign of the slope, that means to its opposite sign. So if it's positive, opposite will be negative to change. If it's negative, then you change it to positive. Okay, reflecting over the x-axis, you change both to its opposite sign. You're going to change the sign of the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so let me go over how this should look. These are types of problems where you might want to use like a pen and a pencil, or if you have colored pencils, sometimes it's best to put the lines in two different colors so you can actually see which one is the original and which one is the transformation line. All right, so starting out, first thing we're going to do is just graph this. So when we graph it, we are going to start at -5. And then we're going to go up to over 1, up to again over 1 for the slope. So about 4 points is good enough. Okay. And then, you're going to draw your line. And then what it's asking you here is to translate this up 8 units. So all you're going to do is take your original equation and you're going to add 8 to the y-intercept, because when you're sliding the line, you're only being affected by the y-intercept. So this will take us to 2x plus 3. So now you're going to put that over here. Y equals 2x plus 3. So now I'm going to graph the transformation line. So I'm going to start at +3, which is here. And my slope is still 2. So up 2 over 1. And then I could do a double negative by going down 2 to the left 1 to get my 4 points. Okay, then I'll just connect those. So I should see, the 2 lines on the same coordinate plane. Okay. And again, when you're translating, it only affects the y-intercept. Now, since it said up, we add it, but if it says down, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to subtract. So we're going to take the y equals 2/3 x plus 3, and now we're going to subtract 4. So that'll give us y equals 2/3 x minus 1. And I'll put that over here as my answer. So I'm going to graph the original. So I'm going to start at -1. And then I'm going to go up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. And then I'm going to also go down 2 to the left 3. Now notice, since the slope is not changing for these lines, then the lines are parallel, because parallel lines, again, have the same slope. And then so that is actually my transformation line. And now I'm going to actually graph this one. I'll put that one in green. So I'm going to start at +3 and then up 2 over 3. Okay, up 2 over 3. and down 2 to the left 3. All right, and please make sure, guys, you're working on your graphing. Okay, your lines should look nice and neat, should have arrows on them. I should be able to read the coordinates if I need to. So please make sure, because a lot of this unit will be on graphing. Okay, so we want to make sure we're practicing and graphing correctly. All right, so if we're reflecting over x, which is this one, it says you're going to change the sign of the slope and the y-intercept. So all we do is just follow that rule. Okay, so if I change the sign of the slope and the y-intercept, I'm going to have y equals negative 2x plus 5. Okay, so we change the sign of both. So I'm going to go ahead and graph the original one first. So I'm going to start at negative 5. And then I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and up 2 over 1 again. All right, and then for the next one, I'll start at positive 5. And this time, I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. Okay, down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1. So these should cross. And for graphing, since you have a nice graphing calculator, it's always nice to put both of your lines on the graphing calculator to make sure you have done it correctly. Okay, there's no reason for you to be getting your graphs wrong. All right, let's continue and reflect over the y-axis. So go back to your table. If you reflect over the y, that means you're only changing the sign of the what? Slope. So my new equation would be y equals positive 2x plus 5. So the y-intercept stays the same, right? Only change the sign of the slope. So for number 4, I'm going to start with positive 5. Okay, I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Notice the y-intercept doesn't change, so I'm going to start at positive 5 again. And this time the slope is positive, so I'm going to do a double negative. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Now you can also go up 2 over 1, but you can't go up 2 over 1 but so many times. So that's why I just did a double negative to make it a positive. Okay. All right, so moving on, we only have a couple more to do. So here, notice that this one has not been solved for y first. So you got to do a little work for this one. First, you got to put it in slope-intercept form. It always has to be in y equals mx plus b. Okay, and it even says translate up 3, but solve for y first. So we're going to take 3x plus, sorry, that's a minus. Okay, 3x minus 2y equals to 4. We're going to subtract 3x. So I'll end up with negative 2y equals to negative 3x plus 4, and then divide by negative 2. So my equation is y equals positive 3/2 x minus 2. So once you solve for y, and guys, if you have a problem like this, you have to show me how you isolate the y. Once you isolate y, it says translate this up 3, which means you're going to be adding 3 to the y-intercept. So that'll give us y equals 3/2 x plus 1. So that will go over here. Okay, I'm going to let you graph those two. You should be able to graph. This would be the original, and then this one will be the transformation. Okay, so I'll let you finish that. Same thing with number 6. You'll finish up number 6 and number 7. All right, and then I will put the answers up in a few minutes. I'll give you time to work on that.